Okay, part two. It was like 35 minutes I've been like rambling on, and I didn't realize how long I'd been speaking. And I'm not trying to ruffle feathers. I'm not. I'm not trying to ruffle feathers that not, are not. I mean, at all. It's just that, this is, I'm constantly paying the price for your mistakes. Okay? Just like when I left the Murrays. Okay? I left the Murrays, right? Now here's the stalking, and here's the mental sickness with this. I left one place, and I held a confidentiality contract, meaning I was going to go on with my life in private and move on to another employer. Because if employers started thinking that I had something to do with this, I didn't have anything to do with it. I was at my job, and bullshit started happening. I was being harassed at work. Okay? Beyond my control. All because my family doesn't understand that I wear a wig. So I'm sorry. That's not my fucking fault. Okay? And I remember telling some of my coworkers why I did. I mentioned that. Tried to explain, I'm a black woman, this is black people issues, blah, 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 blah. I tried to do that. Okay? So anyway, I left the Murray's place. So then I ended up going to this other place, and then this same song and dance bullshit was coming into each and every fucking goddamn place I was working. So then they're sitting there like, well, you know what? Fuck it. She's just not going to have to, she shouldn't be wearing those wigs in the first place. So it's not my fucking fault. None of it's my fault. You think I don't know anything about, you thought that maybe I was flirting with Stephen Lyles. I haven't seen the motherfucker. Haven't seen him. Everything you do is you try to punish me every time you fuck up. Okay, this is this whole scapegoating bullshit. And I don't need it. I don't need it. Okay? And then I said, you know what? I don't want to be married. I don't want to be married to Joel. For good reason. So then my family wants to sit here and think, well, here's her competition game. I bet you they were like, well, she doesn't want to get married. Well, she's going to stay married then. She's going to stay married then. This is their joke. It's not a fucking joke. Jim Culligan, are you a fucking rapist? Because it certainly sounds like you are. Are you a fucking rapist? Because only a fucking rapist would think that this shit's okay. It's not fucking okay. Now, I don't want to sit here and continuously talk about this shit, but it pisses me off. I'm not so materialistic. I'm not materialistic at all. By me wanting to continue working in accounting, that was just something I expected to do. Since I came here for that reason, I was doing that all these other years. So I'm sorry if I offended you for wanting to go back to doing the kind of work that I was supposed to do, that I did on my own, or I was pursuing all on my own and never asked you for shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that offended you. Okay? I mean, really, I shouldn't be sorry, but I'm just saying that shouldn't have offended you at all, really. I had no idea any of that was going on. And it wasn't me being materialistic or trying to be like I was better than anybody for doing that kind of stuff, okay? And that kind of sounds racist. To say that, oh, you're a black person and, you don't have a college, a bachelor's degree and blah, 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 blah. So therefore, we are going to decide what you want to do. Yes, that's racism, okay? We're dealing with racism here. All right? We are. And I'm not stirring the racial pot. I'm just pointing out the obvious. Okay? But what's shocking about this is coming from my ex-brother-in-law. Okay? And I often wonder, what the fuck is wrong with my ex-sister Tanya? To sit here and think that this is okay. It's not okay. And if you condone what your husband did, that just goes to show you how sick you are and how willing you are to betray your own sister under something that is under a very highly racially charged issue. Okay? There is a sick, my ex-family is a very sick family. It's sickening. Sick. I see it that way. And it is barbaric and it's sickening to me. Now we're talking about what people may do to make a living. I never asked my ex-sister Tanya to help me or guide me or whatever. But you get these people, they want to play backseat drivers. So you're sitting here, you're doing your stuff, right? And they're like, well, she needs to do this because they feel insecure. I didn't ask to play your competition game. I don't even know what you guys do for a living. Not really. I know Jim sets up stages. I know Tanya does like the Lamaze thing. I think she does Lamaze, electricians, whatever, all that stuff. Okay, that's what you guys do. Okay, but I would never sit here and compare myself. These competitions exist in your head. Okay, which is another stalking issue. Another mentally imbalanced person who wants to do things behind the scenes. Instead of her ever coming up to me saying, "Hey Maria, what are you doing? Can I help you? Are you looking for work? Are you going to take some classes?" She and I never talked about this. Okay, but she enjoys the competition. She enjoys the competition. I don't want the competition. You got a bachelor's degree. Good for you. Wonderful. Okay. I hope you're better off than me. You know what I mean? I would think that you would be if you're. And why would you compare yourself to somebody who, if you feel if I'm lower than you, then why would you need to compare yourself with somebody that you see is lower than you? Why don't you go find somebody with a master's degree or a PhD or somebody like that, and then compare yourself to them? Okay, but obviously, you guys thought that I had a mental issue when in fact it's you. Stalking is an indication of somebody's mental issue as an adult. Okay, I'm not talking about teenage girls or like people in their 20s and this little silly stuff that people play. Okay, you grow out of it. All right, but this is a very serious issue. Okay, now I've been lied to my face. Okay, I have been betrayed by my own mother, who has done nothing but talk shit about Jim since the very first day he walked in that goddamn house. Okay, but I'm dealing with guilty consciences of everyone who doesn't want to admit that they fucked me over. Okay, now I don't understand the inner dynamics of this cult, but I never signed up for it, and it is a cult in every sense of the word. And I'm not trying to squash people's religious bubble. And I want to get this straight one time. I mean, the last time, okay? Because I remember somebody telling me, "You're going to sit here and bash the body of Christ." I'm not bashing the body of Christ, okay? And I'm going to say that sometimes religious devotion can be blind, okay? That's why you have people like Jim Jones. That's why you had that Harold Camping guy back in 2000, I think it was 2012. Harold Camping was sitting here predicting the end of the world, okay? And a lot of people got together and quit their jobs, sold their homes and everything, and they waited for this day. The day came and it went, and nothing happened. And guess what? It was another one of those religious cults. And luckily, it didn't end that tragically. Now, some people might have ended up without a home or whatever, and that is tragic, okay? But there has been far more tragic issues with certain cults. There has been death cults. There has been people who have committed suicide. There has been people who've done all kinds of heinous crimes, all because of these particular groups and the group mentality that gets generated from these things. Okay? It is a dangerous game to play. And it is. And I'm not trying to sound like a goody two-shoes. I'm just saying is when you're somebody who has been put out of a job and you've got fucking freaks thinking it's funny. Okay, I don't care what a person does. Okay? Nobody deserves to be treated like that. Nobody does. All right? If you thought I was a sinner because I had a child out of wedlock, I paid my dues. And then some. Okay? But what you guys do is absolutely warped. Okay? Then Jim gets upset with me because I don't want to be married to Joel. Okay, and I think that somehow messes things up for him because he was in on this. He had he felt like he was sitting on top of his throne. He felt important. I think that's what it has a lot to do with. You felt important, like you were sitting on top of a soapbox. And that's pretty much what it was. And I'm not trying to tear you down. I'm just saying, you know what? I'm tired of paying for you guys' mistakes. I didn't do anything. I never asked you for shit. I never did any of that. Okay? No, I don't want to be Joel's wife. I think that's Polly's job. That's her man. You know what I mean? And I accept that. You know, I can't be teary-eyed about it. Now, I was kind of sad when I first left him because I didn't understand. You know, didn't understand he was married to his mom and all that other weird stuff. I didn't understand and get that. I didn't understand it. You know, I just thought he and I were, you know, he was a good, what do you call it, actor. And I thought he was somebody who was my friend, and we, you know, I thought I cared about him. You know what I mean? But this is a very strange, almost morbid type thing, where I've been lied to, and like, you know, and anytime you lie, you know, you can't be godly when you do something under that. Like, for example, you're trying to convince me to join your religion, but you're using lies and manipulation in order to convert me to do what you want me to do. I want you to think about the contradictions here. Okay? I'm not going up against an establishment. I'm not being disrespectful. That's not talking against God. Okay? It is not talking against God if you say that there are things that can mislead people in this world. And I believe that you guys are being misled. I do. I'm not saying that you don't believe in God, but some people take things and distort things. And they do wicked things with their group mentality. You know? Like, I've mentioned Jim Jones before. But what was that one other group? Hell's Gate or Haley Bop or whatever. These people, it can get out of control. It can get out of control. And I think this is what happened. You know? And some people would say, oh, I'm going to be pressured to, I'm sorry, come with me. I know what you guys do. I'm not going to be married to Joel. Okay? I cannot be married to somebody like that. I can't. You know? You know, and I feel like, you know, I don't want to hate Joel. I just look at him as somebody who has a different life than me. I resent for what he did. Yeah, I think what he did was wrong. You know what I mean? I think that I question whether I believe that he might be evil. You know, he may be, probably, I don't know. But I think that to want me to be married to somebody like that, it's insane. Or that I want my, you know, this woman who is his mother, who is / his lover, why do I want her attaching herself to my work? I don't. That's improper for many reasons. You know what I mean? I know what you guys did. You guys created a ridiculous system of ridiculous bullying, which is your fault. Your fault. I got called out on Facebook by my ex-family. Then I think Polly thought that maybe, I don't know how Polly could have thought for 1 minute that I knew that her and Joel were like that, because there's no way in the world. I thought that was his mom. I thought you were his mom. Okay. But if you would have identified yourself as his wife, I wouldn't have gotten involved with you guys in the first place. Had I known that, I would not have done that. I would not have got to know him like that. So look, you know, I think that's pretty much what I want to say. I just want to get that off my chest, because I'm just like doing a lot of thinking. It's like, you know, these people, it's weird. It's very strange to me. You know? I'm not the sinner. I'm not a sinner. I mean, I'm a sinner. Every human being on this planet is a sinner. We were born, you know, to do things that aren't godly. Okay, we're born imperfect. Okay, everyone is. All right, but don't make this a religious issue, because I have done nothing to harm you, but you have done everything you could to harm me. Okay, you have done everything that is completely opposite of everything that Jesus Christ is supposed to stand for. The exact opposite. Okay? Yes, people can misuse religion, and there's plenty of examples of that. Not just the people, the leaders that I've mentioned before, but it's been throughout history. You know, in different countries and continents, all over the world, people misuse religion a lot. Okay? And if you're not careful, you can find yourself being sucked up into a cult. You know, and people, it appeals to people because of the camaraderie, the sense of belonging, the benefits. I know that there are benefits. You know, I know that there's people such as myself who like I said, who didn't go to like this prestigious college or whatever, but somehow or another they're having decent jobs. And the reason why they have these decent jobs is because it's a part of this cult initiation, quote unquote, blessing, is what it is. And I understand. That's how it is. Do I agree with it? No. I don't agree with it. I am very shocked that my family would bring something like this and want to promote something like this. You know, that's not me talking against God. I'm not talking against God. I'm talking about corruption. That's what I'm talking about. You know. And I'm sorry that, you know, every day I keep thinking, man, you know, I am so sorry that I ever met Jim Culligan. I am sorry that this man ever crossed my path. Every day I think this. I do. I think this every day. Sure, it would have been hell just with my brothers and sisters. It would have been hell with them, okay? But you felt like you were on top of the world, you know? Like you just wanted to destroy somebody over and over and over again, you know? And you don't know when to stop. There's something wrong with you. Yeah, I got a problem with you. I have a big problem with you. You know, you put yourself in situations where you don't belong. You didn't belong here. You didn't belong like trying to encourage me to be with that family. And why? What are you getting out of it? What are you getting out of it? You're probably getting something out of it. What, connections? I don't know. I'm just saying is, you know what? You made a very big mistake. A big mistake. And your selfishness, and I'm referring to like the selfishness, the competition, the competitiveness, and the bullying is what led me to where I am now. This is your fault. Your fault. I don't know the Lyles family that well. I mean, I know of them. I don't know them, you know. I don't know. I can't sit here and pinpoint, but this is what I do think. You know, that, you know, maybe it got distorted. I don't know how active they were involved in it. I think his mom had something to do with this. You know, I always thought her son was good looking. I didn't know he was mentally off. I had no idea. But that probably explains the intense testing that I had. Because they probably thought, well, she must have liked him. So we've already talked about that before. But, yeah, I wrote your son back in 2008 because that's what you do on Facebook. You know, when you're a Facebook member, you catch up with people you used to know, or try to connect with people that you didn't get a chance to know, but you wanted to know. Okay? I don't think that that was such a bad thing to do. But he didn't go any further than that. Because after I wrote him, I never communicated with him after that. Like I said, I had no idea. It's like that was it. I shrugged my shoulders and I moved on. But then, I think everybody was just, I think it was just, it became something, it grew into something sick, is what it did, and it grew into something sick, very sick, and it shouldn't have, and I really personally think you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. So I'm going to wrap up this video, and I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. I'm referring to my fellow TIs. And I'll be back with another video some other time later. Take care.